Can you, are you in?
No. Game of Thrones, yo.
We're doing Game of Thrones, and this guy has a Star Wars shirt on.
Because I'm a big deal in the Resistance. Force Fridays, yo. Force Fridays, even though it's Thursday, we're not going to talk about what day it is. You might be watching it on Friday, so Force Fridays.
AI Reviews, Adryan, Ian. So this is a little bit late,
Yeah.
but we know everyone has busy schedules. So we kind of wanted to drop this review of the last episode of Season 7 of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And just kind of say, dang, right? I mean, great cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones has been pretty spot on. Every ending episode, every season finale episode has been a great cliffhanger. This one, no exception. Hopefully by now you've seen it. If not, spoiler alerts. We are going to talk a good deal about what happened in this episode. So,
if you're not watching the show, why are you not watching the show, and why are you watching this? Go watch the show and then come back and watch this.
Yes. So we get set up in this episode kind of to finally see everyone come together and talk.
Yes.
Basically, I think the episode should have been called The Reunion, for crying out loud. Because literally almost everybody
hasn't seen each other for forever.
Yeah, and then, so they came together. So that was a big thing everyone was looking forward to.
Yes.
That scene did not disappoint, I'll be honest with you. That had so many little
but
plot points.
I kind of called how Dany was going to basically show up. I called it. I knew she was coming on the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
I knew she was coming on the dragon. There was no way she's walking up. She's dropping in on the dragon.
Of course.
And Cersei with the line was like, "We're waiting. We've been waiting."
Right?
Unimpressed.
Been here for a long time.
I'm unimpressed by your two dragons.
Dragon lady. Oh, did she call her a witch?
Or
was that before?
That was probably before she met her.
She's disrespectful anyways.
Yes. Cersei is very disrespectful.
I personally hope that the Night King crosses over, brings up her children, and they kill her. That's how
that would be quite awesome. Just to see
that would be mad poetic.
The former kings show up, and she's like, "My babies." Well, the babies come to kill you.
Yes, that'd be awesome. But then we also had probably the most bittersweet moment, I think, in Game of Thrones for me personally. I don't know about you, but the chess master himself,
Littlefinger,
Lord Baelish. How do you stand for your crimes?
Well, they did a little switch right there that made it seem like it wasn't on him.
Right? There's clearly some probably some conversation between Sansa and Arya we didn't get privileged to see.
Well, actually, there is a deleted scene they talked about, which they don't say they did, but then they didn't film.
Yeah.
That Sansa talks to Bran, and Bran tells
Possibly.
her. Right? No, actually, they filmed it.
Oh,
and they said they didn't put it in there. They filmed it. It was a scene where she goes to Bran, and basically he tells her everything, and they basically deleted it to kind of, I guess, for that scene to have more tension.
Because we know that she knows about her aunt being thrown out of the moon floor, right?
Yes.
We know she knows that, but then all of a sudden she knows all these other things, and that's kind of a nod to Bran being there, right?
Yeah, and if you notice, that sometimes when they were talking, when Sansa was talking, she kind of nodded over to him, and he was kind of like, and then he started mentioning what happened and how he held the knife to their dad and everything else, and he's just like, "Oh, you know about that?" Dang.
So.
But I did think that Arya was gonna come through and take all them guards out by herself.
I thought we were going to watch an epic scene of Arya doing amazing things like taking out half the veil.
Just because she could.
And what?
And then it's like, who else you got? That's all you got?
Right?
Or like, she ends up taking someone's face and just appearing, and you're just like, what the hell just happened? But I mean, this was still pretty cool, anyways.
Yeah, it was bittersweet for me. I think I was hoping, just waiting for someone to get him back, because ever since he did Ned Stark dirty.
Oh, he did dirty.
I was like, you need to die, Lord Baelish.
But he found a way. He negotiated. He makes deals. He's all in someone's ear. He makes sure he tries to stay alive. He was just in the wrong person's ear this time.
And then I like how Sansa pretty much got him back with the talk of playing the game, right? Yeah. So she played it better than him. She thanked him for all his life lessons and said, "Hey sis,
And Sis walked up and was like, ugh!
Dictator style, right?
I was like, ooh. I felt that a little bit.
Yeah, the sound effects that they use for the like gutting of the throat, like not even a slashing, it literally sounded like she gutted his throat.
Yeah.
Which obviously sounds like an incorrect term because there are no guts in your throat. But that's what it sounded like.
With his own weapon.
Right? Right? He was the owner of that blade.
Yes.
Which was originally sent to kill...
It was their brother.
Bran.
Yes.
So, yeah.
He was like, it was sent to kill me, wasn't it?
Crazy, right?
And he's like, can we talk alone for a second? Can we discuss this?
I could just have a word. No.
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 You're going to have a word of this. That's what you're going to have.
So that part for me was great. And then moving forward, man, all the lying and conniving and scheming that took place at that reunion meeting.
Well, yeah, and then it was just the two brothers when the Hound sees his brother, and he's just like, "You're still in there? I know you're still in there."
Right? He's like, "I'll be the one coming for you."
Yes.
You always know I'll be the one coming for you. So that was pretty cool. Kind of, the Hound basically stuck around long enough to say his piece, and then he bounced.
To go get something.
Brings out the White Walker.
Yes.
Apparently it's spelled W-I-G-H-T for those of you who may not know. I did not know that myself, but that's how it's spelled apparently. Which makes me think it's like Whit Walker, but I guess it's pronounced White Walker.
That's how I say it.
Anyways, so that was awesome. He's like very delicately opening this crate.
Yeah. And like being all cautious.
Like very gingerly, right? Like, oh, I just don't know. And then he's like, F it.
Kicks it over. He's like, you gonna get this.
And you can tell like they're trying to get a jump scare out of everyone, right? And then boom, he's out and he's running.
Straight for Cersei.
Right? That's what I thought was interesting.
He was like
no one else, nothing else mattered, it seemed like at that point. He was going straight for her.
Yeah.
Which almost made me wonder if he could sense that she was pregnant. Like, do they run more towards life? It could have just been a coincidence.
Well, I mean, he ran straight. That was directly in front of him. I'm guessing that's just they don't have...
Probably the Hound set that up on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me point it straight at her, right? And
so
get her
goes
attention.
out and just goes straight at her, so they know it's real.
Yeah, get her
attention. And
attention.
just yank them back with that chain.
And then I thought it was funny that the her Maester was more fascinated, like, oh, look at this hand.
Well,
it's
I mean,
alive.
technically he already created one.
Kind of, right? So he's more fascinated with, like, death, right? I mean, that's the whole reason why he got kicked out of the Citadel before.
Yeah. Because
he was actually doing experiments on live people to learn about death,
yeah.
not dead people to learn about life.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. And then, as they build even more, we see Samwell Tully finally makes it back to Winterfell. Yes. This is, of course, after Littlefinger gets the X, and then they reveal what most of us kind of already knew and had speculated, and we saw rumors that Jon Snow is actually a Targaryen.
Well, that's at the end.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about.
The end. We can talk about the whole thing with Cersei and Tyrion and Jaime.
You want to talk about that?
And Jaime.
Okay.
All
right.
He's a whole part in the middle there, My boy goes to see Cersei when I was tense. I felt for my boy because he was like, kill me. And I'm like, what are you doing?
See, what he did what he did for me is he confirmed that he was playing Daenerys. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that. But he said, oh, I was trying to not kill our family with bloodshed. Yeah. So his plans that he had, Daenerys was like 100% right. Like, I think you're doing this on purpose because they're your family. And he's like, no, I'm trying to be noble and not kill anybody. Half-truths.
Yeah, I mean, but he also understands that she can't fly in and just destroy King's Landing if you want to be the one everyone looks up to, because they just, like she said, they just had that.
I would have said, I have dragons. Everyone will always look up to me.
But true, but at the same time, she doesn't want to be feared. She wants to be loved. And you can't go in, massacre in half a city with 1 million people with dragons and expect them to love you afterwards.
You should love me because I didn't have you burnt.
But that's still like I'm the Mad King. Like that's what's different.
And she wants to set herself apart from that.
And that's what he's saying. Hey, if you did that, that's what the Mad King would do. Do you want to go down that whole path? Mm-hmm. Be different.
Exactly. And then so back to Tyrion, right? Very strong moment, I think, between the two of them. They kind of trade words back and forth. You know, I thought about killing you. I thought about killing you.
Yes. I was so surprised that she didn't make a comment that when he poured her a glass of wine and he gave it to her, I thought she was going to make a comment about the wine because that's how Joffrey died, drinking from the wine, and she thought that was the one. He was the one that poisoned him. And
but at this point, she already knows.
But you know it wasn't him, but I was wondering that she didn't make a comment or he didn't make a comment. They just kind of ignored it, and he kind of just left it there. And I thought they might would have brought it up, but they kind of just didn't really say anything even about that. But you know, they didn't have to. I mean, he was saying he was sorry for the kids and what happened, even though I don't think Joffrey was technically his fault because he was still under service to her at the time.
Joffrey was definitely not his fault.
No.
Definitely not. So, and then her whole manipulation of rubbing her belly to, you know, that's totally a sign of manipulation in my opinion, I think, because he brokered that conversation again and got everyone rallied up and everyone's like, yeah, let's go to the north, and then got everyone to believe that Cersei was on board, and then we flash and Jaime's there preparing, trying to come up with a good strategy, how he should deploy the forces, and Cersei's like, are you an idiot?
Like, you don't listen when father was talking. We don't do this.
Like, this isn't what's happening. And then she drops the bombshell that she was conspiring with what's his name? The other Greyjoy.
Billy Greyjoy.
The uncle.
To get the company from other lands. And where him walking away was just all for show that he was scared, but he wasn't really scared.
Yep.
So
he's gonna bring back reinforcements. She didn't tell Jaime. Jaime was very hurt by that.
Yeah.
Very, very hurt. There's a moment there where you're like, is she gonna actually have him killed?
I thought Jaime was a gon. I thought he was a goner. I thought when he basically went to her and was like, "You're gonna kill me," and she gave the nod like, "Do it," and I'm sitting there going, "Oh, is his head about to just fly off?" Yeah, I thought something was gonna go off his head or something. He was gonna get killed, but because she gave the nod, and I was like, "No, Jaime, why? Oh, he's gonna die." And the mountain's grabbing the sword.
What I thought they were gonna do to do a little callback to how he killed the Mad King.
Yeah.
I thought that the mountain was gonna just straight stab him in the back and like lift him up.
Just
yeah, and then have him face her. And he was just gonna look like, I can't believe you did this to me.
Yeah.
And then just like,
which is weird because everyone's been saying like she's gonna be the reason why he dies.
Yes.
Like 3 or 4 characters have said that she's gonna be the reason why you die. Like she's gonna get you killed.
Lots of foreshadowing.
Yes. So I was thinking, like, is this the time? This is when it happens?
We'll see though. We'll see. And then he doesn't die, obviously.
He walks away.
And then he walks away.
Like, do something.
He's gonna go head out, and he's like telling her, "You're really gonna be alone now, right? There's no more Lannisters, just you." And apparently she's she's okay with that because she's seeing herself and then her baby as the future of their house now. She's like, all right, you already gave me a baby.
I don't need nothing else from you now.
Later. Get out. Give me a seed.
I got the Iron Bank, you know what I'm saying, supporting my new army. Mm-hmm. So what do I need you for? You're the head of our army? Whatever.
Doesn't need it.
You lost to the Dragon Queen already. What good are you?
Yeah. Basically insults him, right?
Yeah.
And then so we see him right off. He puts his leather glove over the golden hand so he doesn't give himself away, I think, on his travels.
Yeah. So
he doesn't kind of get, held up by anybody. And then we fast forward, like I was trying to say earlier, to Samwell arriving in Winterfell.
Yes.
And talking to Bran.
Yes.
And then it also, as this scene begins, another scene starts as well. Which I will say I was not looking forward to this because I already knew what it was. Okay. I already knew it was gonna happen. I already knew who Jon Snow was.
Well, everyone kind of. I mean, if you've been following,
We've been following. You kind of knew.
You know who Jon Snow was.
Me personally, I was not looking forward to seeing an aunt and her nephew basically get it on. But we all knew it was coming, though.
But at their defense, they don't know they're related. They think they're different houses, and they're not. There's no way they could be related.
Exactly. And there's something magical because the dragons like him.
Yeah.
She likes him. She even makes that comment earlier at the reunion where she's like, I've lost one of my children. I still can't have kids. And she tells, and John's like, well, how do you know?
It's like, basically like, who told you that? Oh, this sorceress. Is she a reliable source?
Right?
Is she really reliable?
Jon Snow was willing to test the waters and find out if she's fertile.
Yeah.
So, he does just that. He comes a knocking. He comes a gentleman caller. Right?
Like, hey.
And then as he's entering the room, we hear Bran talking to Samwell. And Samwell, apparently, even though it did not seem like he was listening, when his girl was reading that book, he clearly was paying attention.
To who's related to who.
Yeah, and he recites pretty much like almost verbatim, right? Yeah. And then Bran is like, oh, wait. Because apparently they thought Jon was a bastard, but technically he's not because they were married.
Yeah, his mom was actually really married
so
in secret.
He is an official heir to the throne.
Yes.
Official. Not a bastard, an official heir to the throne. And ironically was also named Aegon, which was also Aegon the Conqueror. So more foreshadowing of answering the prophecy.
Yes.
He is the fire and ice prophecy child. Which I don't know how that's gonna make Dany feel because she thinks she's the one.
She's the one. Well, she feels like she's gonna be the one, or she's gonna give birth to that kid. It's from her, bloodline. And she finds out that I have more right than you do. That might start a little.
It'd be interesting, especially how she feels like that. She literally has persevered through all these things because
she knows
she's the chosen one.
Yes,
technically speaking, right? That's what she thinks. She's like, I've done all this. I've came through all this because this prophecy is about me.
And John's like, but did you die though? But did you die?
Did you come back? Did Ollie stab you?
Right here. And come back. Well, exactly. Nah. That's why I'm still here.
So that bombshell is dropped. And then literally almost right after we watch this, we go to the east watch of the wall.
Yes.
And we had already kind of talked about this.
Yes.
We knew it was coming. I'm not going to say who was right about what the dragon breathed or was going to breathe, although somebody said it was going to be blue fire instead of frost.
Well,
like somebody did.
You don't know because it hasn't hit that person yet.
We're going to go with logic that frost cannot melt ice. It would add more frost.
Well, it's not. It's a blast. So it's basically a blast hitting the ice. So it's like throwing an ice ball, it's an avalanche.
No. So blue fire, 100% blue fire. It's blue flame. The change of color is obviously from the magic from the Night King.
But all his magic is cold and ice, just saying.
Nope, not true. 100% blue fire. If you want to chime in and you think it's not blue fire, comment below. But everyone who does believe it's blue fire, comment and tell Ian.
When it hits a person, we haven't seen it hit a person yet.
Tell Ian how he's wrong.
It's an inanimate object.
It literally melts ice, but it's not fire according to this guy.
The ice didn't melt; it collapsed.
Okay, so apparently
if you saw it crumbled down.
Apparently, we
need to have here. And this came down. I'm just saying, it collapsed.
We need to review how glaciers melt in the...
They broke off.
In the Antarctic.
I'm just saying.
So he comes in, Night King comes in on Dragon, pretty much screws everyone there at the watch. Yeah. And then, I like how the army of the dead, right? The White Walkers are just... or I guess these are just walkers. I apologize. Yes. White Walkers are technically his generals.
Yes.
Right? And then just the walkers are the other ones. So... I like how they just stand at attention.
Because they know what's coming. So
they just like breeze through after it goes down.
Yeah, they're like, oh, and it's down. Let's roll out.
Let's keep going, right? And it's nice, slow pace. And then you see the Night King on the dragon go through and
slowly
fade to black.
Away.
right? Fade to black. So very interesting. I personally am a bit hyped for season 8.
Because it's gonna go down, yo. It's going down.
I will say that I'm hoping for a little bit better story writing. Because I felt like only 3 of these episodes were actually like really good, and the rest of it is kind of like.
I think a lot of them are just build. Some of them they have to get the build.
I mean, you can still have good build episodes, right? You can definitely still have that. There's tons of shows out there that we have seen. I won't say a ton, but there are shows out there. I'll retract that statement. There are shows out there who have done builds correctly.
Well,
and they're still good.
If you look at it,
I know it's difficult.
Most of the series has been a build. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot of action. Action.
You can still not have action like dropping plot bombs and stuff like that. There's ways to build it and make it a little bit better. I definitely think this season was the best in going from disgusting transitions to food, though, or really bad looking open wounds or something to like food. They did a really good job with that this season. Very good transitions there. Lot of good shots and whatnot. But I'm hoping for a little bit better story. There was a lot more, I think, that was given to us because they're in a rush, which I personally don't see why they're trying to rush it. I know maybe because Mr. Martin wants to start writing again, I guess.
Well, I think he's writing it now, isn't he?
I heard a rumor that he's technically done. I don't know if that's true. Rumor.
Okay.
Internet rumors. Heard a rumor that he's done, like almost done with the book. But I don't know if that's true. So that would still mean that he's writing it, right?
Yeah.
And they're not really leaning on him for what's not in the book, what's in the book at this point, I guess.
I think they're asking some questions, though. So I thought they were a little bit.
I think they're just using like reference material, right? And then like for stuff like there's no like to wrap up on a TV show what happened to Littlefinger, like that's not in the book, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple things that they're just kind of ad-libbing or trying to create to move along the story for HBO's audience, all of us. Because remember, there's still, I believe it's 4 or 5 potential spin-offs that they want to do.
Yeah.
So who knows really how it's going to end up ending. My prediction, I'll go ahead and say this. I don't know if Jamie will end up being like a co-general or whatnot. He does have some leadership skills. I personally would like to see Brienne be the general that John picks.
And then basically be Jamie under her.
Yes.
And the whole time he's like, my damn hand, yo.
That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see that, and then something special where.
Which I don't think I could see him as co-general because how could you trust him?
Yep. Yeah.
Like that's the one thing is like how could you really trust him even though he left Cersei? How can you really trust him? Is he gonna tell out Cersei when he gets there that she's not backing him at all? And that the first thing to say, hey, I came because Cersei's saying no.
I predict that Brienne will vouch for him, and that's how he ends up being able to stay.
Well, I mean, Tyrion, he loves his brother, so.
Yes. So those two, being that those two have a lot of pull with both sides of the resistance, if you will, the living resistance, I think they'll put aside their differences and they'll add him to the army.
Yeah.
In a general kind of status, because he's a generally good planner. I won't say against Rob Stark, right? Obviously, he learned class there, but he learned from that. He learned from that. So, and then Tyrion is his own little kind of planner too. I think he'll maybe get some input from him, but I think he'll discount him a little bit since he's not a warrior.
Yeah.
So, and he has the battle at Blackwater.
Yeah.
Under his belt as like the survivor.
Yeah.
But that was thanks to Podrick and his magic penis apparently. So it'll be interesting. At some point, I think Jamie will die in Brienne's arms. I think he will do something to try to help save her, and something's gonna be set up, and I think that's how he'll die.
I don't know.
Because it was something there. I forget. There was a season. Someone said something that he's gonna die in the arms of someone that he loves.
It might be Tyrion.
I think it's gonna be Brienne. Brienne of Tarth. That makes sense.
I don't think he really loves her. I think he respects her.
I think he loves her. There's that whole scene where
I think
Cersei gets mad because she mentions the way that he's looking at her.
But I think he has respect. I don't think he loves her. I think he's gonna be, if he dies, he'll die in Tyrion because he's the reason why he's kept Tyrion alive this long.
If you think Jamie likes Brienne, comment down below and say what you think. Do you think it'll be like? What are your predictions? Just go ahead and share with us on that. Anything else you wanted to add to possible predictions for season 8?
I'm trying to think. Is there gonna be a conflict between Dany and Snow? Or actually, he's not. Well, he's still technically Snow until they tell him who he really is.
I do think there's they're gonna use that for a little bit of drama. I feel like she'll get over it faster than he will.
But I think he personally, I don't think he really cares if he ends up being king.
Yes, because so that's why I feel that Dany will get over it faster than he will, because Jon always seems so conflicted about things, right? So I feel like his sense of duty, his honor and pride, he'll want to give it to her. Yeah. And I think once everyone hears...
But if you think about that speech he gave to Theon, where he's like, am I Stark or am I Greyjoy? And he's like, you're both. So that's like, you were kind of in the same boat.
Yes.
So I hope he comes to the realization that, hey, I'm Targaryen and I'm a Stark.
Mm-hmm.
And he should just say, all right, I'm both. Even though he's basically, or he might just say, I'm a Stark. Because that's how I was raised and that's where I am. I'm a Stark.
That is a good point. I mean, they could keep it a secret, right?
Yeah. I think Bran's going to tell him. Because Bran already said he's going to tell him. Bran already said...
Well, he's going to tell Jon,
he needs to know.
But after that, who else is going to know, right?
Yeah, so he's going to tell Jon.
Sam knows. He's going to tell Jon for sure. And then outside of that, who else do you think might know? Like, because they could just keep it a secret.
But I think it's going to get out.
Yeah.
Because I think Sam's going to leave and go tell somebody the second he leaves.
I personally think he will. I think it'll get out, but it's an interesting kind of dynamic if they choose to do something crazy where, like, okay, like this council of people know the truth, but for the people, do we not say anything until after this threat is over?
Yeah.
Right?
Or like if they don't tell him, Sam doesn't tell anybody, and they tell Jon that he's basically like, all right, I'm Stark. Don't mention that again.
So that's a possibility. I think that would be an interesting dynamic if they just have like the main people who are like always like in the council meetings and stuff. If they know, and then they just probably will decide not to say anything until after the war's over, basically between the undead, pretty much, and then maybe address it later. That could be a possibility.
But I feel like some get out.
With every episode, supposedly, is going to be an hour and a half.
Yes.
So that's a lot of time to show us stuff, and I'm really hoping they don't disappoint. So once again, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like the video. Like I said before,
click all the buttons.
Go ahead and put some comments down below. Let us all let everyone know. Let the internet know that Ian is wrong. It's blue fire.
Ice.
Also, put any comments down below as far as what you think for predictions for next season for Game of Thrones. I'm hoping we get it next fall. There's a rumor that it's probably going to be 2019 spring and go back to the original release dates. So we'll see. Also, don't forget to share.
Share it to everybody.
Share the video out to anyone you feel should watch it. Anyone you think needs to see.
Everyone needs to see it.
A little Game of Thrones.
All of them.
Discussion.
And then tell them to watch the show so they can watch this show.
And then watch it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again.
And again.
Just keep watching it.
Just keep watching.
All the time.
All the time.
Peace.